What's up everybody, and welcome back to another episode on this YouTube channel. In today's episode, I'm going to break down and explain all the various steps required to use, in my opinion, one of the best free websites when writing a CV to be used either for university or job applications. Let's jump onto my home screen, and hopefully by the end of this video, you'll be a step closer to applying for the master's program that you desire. Let's get started. Welcome back. As you can now see, we are on my home screen. And so that this video isn't too long, I'm just going to quickly take you through the process of signing up on this particular website, creating your profile, and finally creating your actual CV. Obviously, for this tutorial to work, the first thing that we will need is our web browser. And for this particular tutorial, we're going to use Google Chrome. So I'm basically going to type in the name of the website, and I think we'll just go with the standard Europass. And as you can see, the website is called europa.eu. We're going to click on it, and immediately we're taken to the home page, and you can see not only can you create your CV, you can create your cover letter, and also you can test your digital skills. So at your own free time, I urge you to check out these other two. So the first step in this tutorial is very simple. We need to create our Europass profile, and as you can see, it is for free. We're going to click on that, and basically they're asking us to register, so we'll do the first step of registering, and we'll create an account because we're assuming obviously we don't have an account. So I'm going to put in random names, so I'll say maybe
a few moments later.
For the email section, I'll basically put in the email twice, and the language we'll leave it as English, and create an account. We are securing. So we'll wait a little bit and we'll check back once this particular step is done.
Much later.
The moment that particular step is done, you'll receive an email like this saying thank you for registering. You will receive an email allowing you to complete the registration process. So we'll basically proceed from there. Once you log into your email, you'll basically see an authentication service email from europa.eu with the particular details that we have here. And to create your password, follow the link. Once you click the link, you'll basically be prompted to put in a new password. So I will put my password.
A little longer than a few minutes later.
The moment you put in an adequate password, you'll get this screen and you'll be prompted to proceed.
How long is this going to take?
And just like that, you've created your Europass profile that now you can use to create your CV. We'll proceed immediately and go to create my profile, because now we have to put details about ourselves so that we populate the different parts or the different sections that will make up the CV. So as you can see, there are now 4 different sections that we need to fill, and the first one is our personal information. I'll go step by step filling it, but just to save time, I will forward it, and in case you have any questions concerning any of these parts, you can write them in the comment section down below. But from here, it's literally so straightforward. I don't even need to be here anymore. But keep watching. One thing I feel like I should point out, as you can see in the CV, there are certain sections that have this red star. So anywhere where this red star appears, it means it's mandatory and you have to fill it. If not, or if it doesn't appear, it means it's optional. If you want to put it, you can. If you don't want, it's not a must. But ideally, just fill as much as you feel comfortable filling. That way your CV looks comprehensive. One key thing to note at this particular section, in case you want to add a separate address, as you can see here for the first one, we selected home as the address. In case you want to add a second address, you just click here and then you indicate the type of address that you want it to appear as. So we can select work and you can basically fill, but for the purpose of this tutorial, I feel like it's not necessary. So we'll just leave it as it is and we'll click on next. We move on to the second part, which is your work experience. And here, again, self-explanatory. Any sort of experience that you've had working, all the number of jobs, you can literally list your occupation or your position held, the company in which you worked, the city in which you worked, the country in which you worked, and from the time that you started working to the time that you stopped working. In case you're still working at that particular point, you can click on ongoing and you don't have to fill this 2 section over here. And here you can basically pour your heart out and write all the activities, all the roles, all the jobs, all the duties that you basically had. You put it all in here. And if you want to give more details, you can indicate the sector, the department, the organization, email, website, as much info as you're comfortable giving. You now place it in this particular section. Now I'm just going to fill it with random stuff so that we can go into the next section. Another important thing, the moment you put in an occupation, you can see all the recommendations that are there and you can ideally select one that fits what exactly you wanted to put. So in this case, I'm just going to put engineer and we're going to say contract engineer. Yeah, we put electrical engineer. Next, we move on to education and training. And basically here you put all the experience that you've had in the academic sector, if you'll call it that. Basically your university, if you have any, your high school achievements, your primary school or elementary school, I don't know how exactly you call it in your home country. Any academic qualification that you've had in the past number of years, this is where you input them. As you can see, you can put a title here of the qualification awarded, the organization providing education and training, which is basically the institute or the school, the website of the school, where the school is located, the country, and basically when you started and when you completed your program. And as usual, you can have more details where you indicate the field of study, the final grade, the thesis, the name of your thesis, if you did a thesis, and again, explain as much as you can. And yeah, all this information, you can take time and do research on them and actually fill them as required. So I'm quickly going to fill this so that we can move on to stage 4. Next, we move on to section 4, which is our personal skills section, and basically we input our personal skills. In this first section of our personal skills, we're going to put in the languages that we know, so I'll put in English. In case I want to add another one, I'm going to put Swahili. Swahili. Obviously, it's not there. But yeah, and any other language that you know. You can have as many as you want. But for this purpose, we'll just put in these two. And in case you maybe know another language that is not your mother tongue, you can put in here. So maybe here I'll put in German, for example. And for this other language section, because it's not your mother tongue, it is assumed that you're not fluent in the language. So you have to basically rate and say what level you are at. And probably I could put maybe here for reading, maybe here for writing, here for speaking, and I don't know, maybe here again for spoken production. Interesting. And finally, overall, maybe I put that, and you can have as many languages as you need. Digital skills. So as you can see, these are the digital skills that you have on offer. And yeah, you basically drag and drop them. So literally you can, let's say for example, you say video editing. Let's say you have that as a skill. You can put it there and it will appear. Anything that you consider that you have as a skill, you basically put it on there and it will appear in your CV. Finally, we've completed filling our CV. Obviously, for you who is watching this video, these 4 steps need to be as comprehensive as possible. One thing you need to be very careful about CVs is ensuring that there are absolutely no gaps. You need to account for the full period from when you started learning to where you are currently at, because institutions want to know what have you been doing with your time. You're applying for a particular job or a position in school, or maybe a spot in a master's program. They want to know what activities have you been up to that have given you experience for the position that you're trying to apply for. So it's always important, in case there is a gap in your CV, you actually need to indicate it. Don't just ignore it and assume that no one will ask. Some of these companies actually want to know. You took a year between your 4th and your 5th year, for example, of study. What were you doing in between? Why did you basically take 1 year off your academics? And as you can see on this particular page, you've created your profile and it looks very bare, but so far this is your work experience, this is your education and training, these are your language skills and any other digital skills that you can have here. And again, the more comprehensive that you are when filling your profile, the more comprehensive your CV will be. So this next step is actually producing the CV as a PDF document, and it goes like this. So we'll come up here to create your CV now. And as you can see, it is a 5-step process. And because we have created our profile, we will basically start from our profile and we will observe the details that we want to have. Maybe, for example, we want people to know that I am male, but maybe I want to hide my nationality and maybe my phone number, which doesn't make sense because how will they contact you? But yeah, let's say that you want to have some information, but you want to avoid giving out others, and you can easily select each particular detail that you give at every step or every level when creating your profile. Maybe, for example, you don't want people to know that you speak Kiswahili. You can quickly toggle this off. And once you're happy with how everything looks, we're going to click on next. Do you want to edit the information before creating your CV? This particular step is very important, especially when you want to tailor your CV depending on what you're applying for. So for example, if you're applying for a master's position or a spot in a master's course, ideally the first thing that you would want to appear in your CV is your educational information. because it makes sense. You're applying for a master's program. It would be ideal to show your educational background first rather than your work experience. So for this particular section, we're going to say yes, I do. And because we're assuming that I'm applying for a master's program, I'd like my educational background or my education and training to come before my work experience. So I'm going to click on this arrow right here, and the first thing that will appear is my education and training. And once I'll scroll through, and the moment I'm happy with my particular selection, I'll click on next. And this is where you can choose the actual appearance of the CV, how you want it to look. So you have 4 different templates. This is the first one. As you can see, this is a different template. And basically, depending on how you like the look, this is another template. And again, this is the 4th template. So depending on what exactly you like or the appearance that you prefer, you can choose, but keep in mind, whichever template you choose, all of them are in tabular form, and that's the most important thing when creating a CV. Let's say, for example, we choose this particular one because I like the look. I can even change the color. Let's say I want, instead of blue, I want it to appear green. I can make the change. I can change the font size. I put it as small, or I put it as large. And I think this will clearly affect the number of pages that you will have. Obviously, the larger the text, the more pages your CV will be. In most cases, it is ideal to keep your CV short and straight to the point rather than having multiple pages. So I think medium is a good middle ground. And finally, you have the option to choose whether or not you want to show the Europass logo, whether you want it on every page for the first page only or no. So the moment we select no, as you can see up top here, there is no Europass logo. But if I select first page only, the Europass logo appears here. So it all depends with what exactly your preference is. Finally, we click on next. And this is how our CV basically will turn out. And we'll put a name, random name, and we can download it to our desktop. And the moment we open it on our PDF viewer, this is basically how it looks. And I'll zoom out, and so far this is our CV. It looks okay, I think, but either way you can basically see how it will turn out. As you can see, you have quite a bit of freedom. You can choose the color, you can choose the font size, you can choose whether to have the Europass logo or not, and you can choose what information you want to put. And that's basically it. It's as simple as that. And that's about it for this episode. Now you know how to use this free website to draft a CV that can be used to apply to any university or even any job application. If you've made it this far into the video, I'm pretty sure that you found some very helpful information, and in return, I only ask that you leave a like on the video, leave a comment, and subscribe, as it helps the channel grow. And it's also a way of getting feedback for me to improve the quality of the videos. If you're interested about studying in Germany and want to see more content, check out my playlist. It's called A Guide to Study in Germany. Otherwise, I wish you all the best as you go through the process of applying for your future master's program or your future job opportunity.